The Horror at Highrook is a card crafting, map revealing narrative about a man who gets into some occult practices, forces his family down that same path, and maybe regrets it later. Only time will tell if the magic is real or if it's just the ravings of a madman. This game gives me board game vibes, which is definitely not a bad thing. I'm particularly reminded of Betrayal at House on the Hill, with its room revealing, item finding, and random haunts aspects. Your main goal is to uncover the mystery of the missing Acheron family. At your command, you have a party of characters, each with their own particular set of skills. These skills will come in handy when attempting tasks in each of the rooms of the house. Something I found particularly interesting is that there are basic survival mechanics. We have to hunt and forage to feed ourselves, and make sure we get enough sleep, which was not something I was expecting from this kind of game for some reason. Let's get back to the main mechanic though, the card crafting. The main thing, besides reading, is performing tasks and uncovering or otherwise transforming cards. For instance, in order to eat, we have to cook, and in order to cook, we have to hunt and forage. So, as an example, we'll send Atticus Hawk to the cliff top because they have the highest paths skill. You'll see that to complete the foraging task, we need a certain amount of the paths skill. Now, a character may have this innately, but we can also offer them cards to boost this skill, like the Spyglass. Once that task is completed, a card appears. It's a cooking ingredient, so we take it to the kitchen, which, as you can see, needs a whole new skill in order to do the cooking task, and then we take that to the dining room and eat it. Be wary, some cards, especially things like food and forage, will deteriorate over time. The next main mechanic is a lot of reading. Luckily, the writing is fantastic. A huge part of the gameplay is reading notes, events, and conversations between characters, as well as, of course, what each of the cards does. If you enjoy puzzling out mysteries and exploring narratives in a found footage kind of way, this will be up your alley. The final mechanic, I wish I could give a little more insight into, but unfortunately I ran out of time with the game since I was covering it for Ludonarracon. But in addition to the usable items and clues like journal pieces, you'll also uncover scraps that form a puzzle, which can be added to the composer. What happens when you find them is unfortunately still a mystery to me as far as being in the game goes. It does appear from the trailer that they open some sort of portal, and I suppose these occult corridors are the only way to follow the family to wherever it is they've gone. The soundscape is very atmospheric with cosmic vibes. The card graphics are comic book-esque, while the room tiles remind me of a standard dungeon illustration, very much like what I would love all of my D&D maps to look like. I really appreciate how much detail is shown, particularly in the room tiles. Both the graphics and sound lean towards the occult atmosphere that I'm looking for in a game like this. The narrative of this game is very lore heavy. Since we're exploring the mystery through found footage, or rather more like an epistolary novel, we do have a lot of reading to do. The writing is great, and the writer does a great job at changing voice between characters' journals, the party's conversations, and the cards themselves. Speaking of characters, I think there's a good variety of personality in the party, and I want to know more about them and their relationships. Since they each have a pretty specific background, but are all working for the High Council, I kind of want to know how they got there. And maybe even more so, I'm curious about the occult practices the Acherons got themselves into. We get a few tidbits, but it's mostly rumors at this point. When we delve deeper into the portals, what will we find? Eldritch monsters? Spectacular spirits? Fiendish frights? I don't know, but I hope I get the chance to find out. I think this game is more about uncovering clues and exploring a single narrative than it is about finding multiple endings, but I think the content makes up for this lack of replayability. While not a visual novel in the strictest sense, it does feel like an immersive novel where the journey is just as important as the ending. The Horror at Highrook is definitely a game I could see myself sinking a lot of hours into, and I think it's a game that I could get lost in. I'm a big reader, if it wasn't clear, and I'm certainly interested in reading more while working to reveal the mansion. I think the way of revealing items, rooms, and events is interesting and very board game-esque. However, since it's a video game, it can definitely contain a lot more than a board game ever could. If you like evocative writing, occult mysteries, and intense storytelling, The Horror at Highrook is a game for you. Sir? I can't read- Oh, I'm sorry! I can't read through your bottom. Apologies for my late arrival. I had to visit a patient in Darwich yesterday. The fellow had developed Calxon's compliance, bones like rubber, most intriguing. Dr. Caligar's fingers lace and unlace. Coincidentally, my guild was summoned here recently to tend to the Acheron's son. He was suffering from an unusual infection. Unfortunately, my colleagues were unable to diagnose the cause. This art style is cool. I'm a huge fan of the art style. Also, welcome, Lewa. How's it going? I felt like I was like talking into Iggy's butt. It looks like you're reading something off Iggy's butt. Oh, good. I'm glad. Iggy, you have a very wordy bottom. Scholar Vitali. What are you looking at? Oh, good. It's the screen that he's interested in. What's going on, buddy? I think it's the, like, mistiness at the bottom. Dr. Caligar, your late arrival is of no matter. We have barely unpacked our own equipment. The mansion is somewhat disturbed by various chambers. And various chambers are inaccessible, sealed with mechanist locks. I believe that one of these locations might house a simple laboratory that you can make use of when we gain access. I suspected as much. My colleagues sensed foul play when they visited here before. Lord Acheron was adamant that our team should not investigate without his supervision. Luckily, a junior analyst had the foresight to retain the laboratory code. We should be able to gain access using the copy I have here. Very smart, Miss Caligar. Wow, didn't call her doctor? What the fuck? I've been lurking and working on things. Fair. I appreciate the worky lurkies. But it don't surprise me. You were as sharp as a blade when you fixed me up, when you fixed up me and my crew from Keel fever last spring. Saved us from a right wrecking, you might say. Atticus seems almost coy. I owe you one. If you need any alchemy supplies or help with shift and stuff, just let me know. So, lab code. We need to let her finish in the kitchen, unfortunately. And so I'm just gonna let them chill, I guess. For now. Because, like, I don't really need to do anything else. Owl tea. So we're gonna put that in there. We're gonna move Scholar Vitali up to there. We did also get Mr. Mouse here. We're gonna move Mechanist Aster down to here. So that we can then open up the laboratory. What are you howling about? You just had a snack. I don't know why he's howling so much. Okay. What was I doing? I'm making you do this because you should now have 2 for 2. Love it. You're gonna get that lab code. Oh noes! Oh wait. You can have Gift of the Monkey in order to do this. You can get that lab code so we can get into the laboratory. Oh, you also have a roots. Interesting. But what I was wondering is if you had memories, which you don't. Okay, alright. Again, I don't really want to keep digging stuff up because I just don't think that makes sense. How tired? You're getting pretty tired. I think after this one, we'll probably put Scholar Vitali to bed. But let's do those 2 tasks. Right, oh, I didn't start this task. Let's start that task. Yeah, requires 2, has 2. And then... Oh, Caligar is sleepy. You got here tired, so maybe we will just let you sleep then. And then Atticus is gonna do nothing for now. Oh, I guess Atticus could cook this now. Just because it is starting to get a little low. I'm sure people are getting hungry again, right? I mean, not really. They don't really get very hungry very fast. So I don't need to hunt as often as, like, I was. Just wants his cuteness acknowledged. I mean, that's fair. Welcome in, Marco. How's it going? What am I doing here? I'm hitting play. Okay, we can get into the laboratory now, which has a new note. Simon's note, number 2. I'm getting sick. I must have got a cold from the caves and the hurt from the necklace is still there. I'm writing this sitting in the medicine room. I'm waiting for Amy to make my special sleepy drink. I really do not like being sick. Maybe the necklace has put a curse on me. I'd throw it off the cliff if I could. I don't seem to care. He is still singing his sad songs and doing his big chalk drawings. Can you hear that? Working on homebrew game stuff? Nice. Pa don't seem to care. He is still singing his sad songs and doing his big chalk drawings. I can hear him in the chapel from my room sometimes. I hope he doesn't get sick too. Anyway, Amy says it's best not to talk to him about it at the moment. She says that he has been all quiet and strange of late. He is not like his normal self. Loud and clear. Yeah, I don't know. He's full of piss and vinegar right now. Aren't you, sir? Okay, bye. Dr. Caligar, this note confirms what I already suspected. Simon's illness was some form of otherworldly malady, contracted when his father involved the boy in his occult research. Dr. Caligar adjusts her mask and begins to pace around the room. No wonder my colleagues couldn't identify the cause of the problem. I only wish I'd been there to examine him. His description of the ailment and the pain is most intriguing. If you like evocative writing, occult mysteries, and intense storytelling, The Horror at Highrook is a game for you.